Thank you. So next item is principal's report.
Mr. DeCarlo, can you present the slides, please?
Oh, I got to present it through the. Oh, I get it. I get it.
All right. Hopefully everyone at the table can see the slideshow, the principal report. Just to give you some updates, our current enrollment is 1156. So we're seeing an influx of newcomer students, especially those that speak Spanish from the different sites that are coming into the city of Chicago. We have current vacancies. So right now it's the transfer window from 10/7 to 11/21. We still are looking for a Spanish bilingual science teacher, math, STEAM specialist, a security, TATR, and a TAT computer science. We just completed 20th day leveling. Again, we've had an influx of newcomers, so we needed to create more ESL sections. So we went from having 2 ESL teachers to four just in a matter of a couple months with 20th day leveling, just to give you some perspective as to how we had to shift the department for English. Freshman lockers that have been assigned. There was an email sent out to students with that information. The desks that, oh, sorry, I put desks. I have to fix that. The desks that were purchased will be distributed soon, making sure that we prioritize our students based on stature and making sure their needs are met. So we'll be putting those in the classroom soon. We just completed the first digital readiness for PSAT. So they've shifted from paper to digital. So we are learning everything with everyone in CPS is learning right now. And we're shifting from paper to computer. So we just completed the first part. And so the testing will be the week of 10/16. We are in the process of CPS guideline implementation and IB conversion. So we adopted guideline for English, math, science, social studies, and world language. At least for the core, the TCPs that are primary, we have it available. So the teachers that have access to it can use that to support their instruction. And we're just aligning some of that work with IB. And we have been, we just administered MTSS Star 360 BOY, and I just shared the data with the staff today as part of informing their practice. So we're actually getting in real-time data of our students of where they're at and what necessary skills they need to target instruction. This is going to really drive the work of our MTSS interventionists. So we're excited to be able to provide more targeted instruction because PSAT only happens once, right? And it doesn't really drill down to the grade level and standards, and Star 360 does. So to be able to give that data to our teachers and to use it for MTSS is really going to help move accelerate learning in the classroom. Next slide. All right, so just want to go over the changes in the framework. So I know that the principal evaluation is still in progress. Now they've shifted as a board to the new domain. So I just want to highlight the new domain. So they're no longer called competencies. It's domain 1 is organizational leadership. Domain 2 is instructional core. Domain 3 is climate and culture. And domain 4 is talents. Sorry. So now my principal reports are going to be adapted now to the new domains to make sure that you can see the alignment of the work to the new framework. So for domain 1, organizational leadership, we just attended the IoT Institute for cycle 1, where we unpack curriculum implementation and the learning conditions for the instructional core. Every school is going to be going through this process called Rigor Walk. So every CPS school will have 3 visits from their network based on specific look-fors that speak to the instructional core and rigor in the classroom. We already had our landscape walk, which was focused on standards-based objectives and targets and the alignment of the tasks. So that data has been shared, and I can share with the LSC as well. And I linked the 10-4 agenda. We meet as an ILT every Wednesday to continue this work. At some point, we'll shift to maybe bi-weekly meetings, but right now with the new CIWP and still having to develop the action, further develop the action steps for the CIWP, we are meeting weekly to drive that work through the lens of departments. The staff newsletters linked there are CIWP. If you want to see the full CIWP is linked in there, and I've also linked our complete professional learning plan. You may find the template a little bit overwhelming, but it actually highlights all of the learning that's happening on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, and it's a fluid document, so we do meet and update periodically. And we also have additional school teams, IoT, CIWP, BHT, Culture and Climate. Thanks, Mr. DeCarlo. No, okay, now moving to domain 2, instructional core. So we are doing a lot of work with Marzano, which we're excited because it's called the new art of science and teach, the new art and science of teaching and learning. So a lot of people are struggling with student engagement post-pandemic. So these strategies are designed to help engage students now after the pandemic and with the access of technology. So teachers attended their first learning 922. The next PD is 1027, where they'll be bringing artifacts of implementation of those strategies in the classroom. So they at department meetings, they've been reading the book that was purchased. So every department got books, and they're doing little POCs through departments in terms of how to make thinking visible, how to align work to standards and learning objectives. So really really investing in the professional development of the staff this year to support these shifts. So I just right here is some highlights. You can see that's the STAR 360 report. Those are the books that were purchased. You can see that we're meeting as on-track teams to discuss data. We're grouping students. Teachers are talking about how to help students that are below benchmark to get to benchmark. So it's really about the work and what is it going to take to help accelerate learning in the classroom. So these are just some pictures of some of the meetings that we've had since the start of the school year. Climate and culture, we had our homecoming dance, and we of course aligned it to our student rights and responsibility, making sure that we're setting the stage and the expectations that we are students first and the extracurriculars are a benefit. So we had athletic senior night, we had our homecoming game and dance, our culture and climate team had their first bi-weekly meeting. We are sending weekly swag reports out to families. We are working on eligibility for events based on tardies to class. So I know that an issue from last year was the hall walking. So we are including in the swags now how many times students are late to each period. So that is a new addition to the swag reports to help support that communication with families so that they can also help us at home with those conversations. Our focus groups will begin next week for MTSS. So we're going to be targeting SCL. And Ms. Monticelli and Ms. Chaparro have been already implementing Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions for reading and math. In-school suspension is now school intervention with a focus on student tardiness. Next slide. And then the last domain is talent. We have been doing a lot of work in investing in terms of adult SEL. So we had our first new stylist staff connection in action. So right there are pictures of all the new staff that we have this year. So they were able to do engagement activities and get to know Belmont Cragen neighborhood. They had a lot of fun. As you can see, their field trip ended at Target, but it was about making connections and really connecting together so that they can see how they all, where they fit within STEMIS and what drives their work forward. So it was nice to see like a teacher talking to a security guard, talking to a D, so they can see the convergence of their work. We continue to attend Network 14 principal and AP meetings. Our weekly meetings with the CEO and CETO still happen. We have weekly ILT meetings. We are working on our IB evaluation. Just met with the team to think about what that scope of work is for year one. We're still on track with our STEAM implementation on pace. I meet with my deputy bi-weekly now since I'm a second year principal. I'm completing my BOY principal, and our APs are doing their BOY also evaluations, and we are part of the Network 14 Rigor Walk. So we'll be receiving visits from the network 3 times a year, but since we are a targeted school, we do receive additional support. So that concludes the principal's report.